Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back another video day, and tomorrow, the Houston Texans will play the Baltimore Ravens for Christmas football. And I'm gonna be honest. Ever since I watched the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, I've gotten a little bit less excited for this game. I'm very excited for the matchup. I'm very excited that my favorite football team is going to be playing on Christmas. But after watching the fight, the big first live sporting event on Netflix, I'm really scared tomorrow that there's going to be issues watching the game, disconnecting, which is something obviously you don't want to see happen with any game, but especially on Christmas. But let's hope that history doesn't repeat itself and nobody has any issues while watching the game, whether you're watching the Texans and Ravens or you're watching the Chiefs and Steelers, which both the Christmas games tomorrow are on Netflix. But I like the matchup. I'm so excited. The Texans playing, just on Christmas in general, I'm so excited. Just the Netflix part of it worries me a little bit about, not being able to see the game. Like there were issues with the fight a couple months ago or about a month ago. But, let's just all, pray and hope it's a Christmas miracle. And, there are no issues with the game tomorrow. Okay, but moving on. Before I start previewing this matchup, giving my predictions, giving my analysis on the game, want to wish everybody happy holidays. Whether it's Christmas or it's Hanukkah or it's Kwanzaa or you just, maybe you're a Grinch and you don't celebrate anything, there's nothing wrong with not celebrating anything at all. I celebrate two of those holidays I just mentioned with Hanukkah and Christmas. But, wishing everybody happy holidays and a happy New Year as well. And hope everybody has a chill Christmas. Hanukkah starts tomorrow as well, or a chill Hanukkah. All right, so this game will be a good one. We got the rematch of the divisional round playoff game between the Texans and the Ravens. I think one of these teams has gotten a little bit worse since then, and one of these teams has got, I think, probably better since then. And I'm sad to say that is not the team I like. The team that I like has not gotten better. I think they've gotten worse. I think injuries have been a big reason why they've gotten worse. And unfortunately, another big injury just hit with Tank Dell and Jimmy Ward. So you don't want to see continuing more injuries for this Texans team. But it's tough for this team right now dealing with injuries. So let's get into injury report. We're going to start with injury reports. I'm going to give my thoughts about this game, then go to prediction, and we're going to wrap this thing up. All right, injury report started for the Texans, then we'll go to Baltimore. Foley Futukasi is out with an injury, ankle injury. Shaq Mason out against Baltimore with an MCL knee injury. Juice Scruggs, literally just saw him today. He lives in my apartment building. I saw him driving out, of our building, and so I guess he's not playing tomorrow. He's dealing with a foot injury. But he didn't play. He didn't play in the last game either. Jimmy Ward is on IR. Obviously, Tank Dell's on IR. Get well soon, Tank. Danico Autry is questionable. The Texans cannot lose Danico Autry, especially when you already have Foley out. See, Jalen Petrie is on IR. Tegan Quantanaro is on IR. Kadar Holman's on IR. Stephon Diggs is obviously out for the season. British Brooks is dealing with a meniscus. Yeah, it's a really bad case. Keenan's been out for the year. Brevin Jordan as well. It is a full list of injuries for this Texans team. Now, the Ravens have some injuries of their own, too. Last time I checked, you got Nelson Aguilar, who's out for this game, dealing with a concussion. That's one of their top wide receivers. You got, he's their best wide receiver outside of, Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. You got Justin Hill, who I think is such an underrated part of this Raven offense. He's also dealing with a concussion that happened in their last game against Pittsburgh. He is such an underrated part of their offense as at the running back position. Obviously, you have Henry, he's so dangerous, but Justin Hill in the passing game, what he does for this pass game, he's such a dangerous pass catcher, and I hope he gets better soon. Concussions are one of the worst injuries in football, but I'm kind of glad he's not going up against us tomorrow because he is a dangerous player. Shout out to Justice Hill. He's one of my favorite players on this Ravens team. Amar Davis is out with a hamstring. He's a cornerback for them. Also, Hardy, wide receiver's out with a knee injury. He's on IR. Zay Flowers is questionable with a shoulder injury. If I had to imagine, I would say he plays in this game. Tre'Davious White is also questionable with a shoulder injury. That's really it with the Ravens team. But yeah. So they have some injuries as well. Justice Hill, Nelson Aguilar, some big guys that are out for them. Jay Flowers is definitely questionable. But yeah, it's nowhere close to the Texans' injuries, but they got some big guys out for them. So what do the Texans need to do to win this ball game? They need to do what they haven't been doing so well lately, which we keep saying, hey, let's do this, and it just doesn't happen. Like the bad play calls by Bobby Slowick. Like the wide receiver screens, I don't know why he keeps going to that play. Like the week before against Miami, it was the third down and shorts, like third down and 1, third down and 2s against Miami. He kept passing on those third down and shorts instead of giving the ball to Joe Mixon. And that was a big mistake, I think, by Bobby Slowick in the play calling. And then last week it was the wide receiver screens. Like if something's not working, stop going to it. Like against Miami and Houston a couple weeks ago, Bobby Slowick kept going with the, passing on third and short, very short, like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, instead of running the ball to Joe Mixon. He did about 2 or 3 times, and it never worked out. And then last week it was the 4 wide receiver screen passes, and it did not work out at all. I mean, look, the players have to be successful in the field, but as the offensive coordinator, you cannot keep going to that same call over and over again. I don't care if he calls it just one time. If you call it just one time and it doesn't work out, maybe twice, and it's not working out, you're probably thinking, okay, the player, this is not working. Our opponent's defense has got it figured out, and our offense is not working on this play. Stop, we're going to stop going to it. Instead, what does Bobby Slowick do? He goes to it another 2 times. So, and most of those screen passes got the Texans negative yards. And most of them got the Texans into long, second or third downs. So, most of them got them to long third or fourth downs. So it really don't want to see those screen passes by Bobby Slowick. And it's with the offensive line as well, with the penalties. I'm not going to even say the offensive line try to protect C.J. Stroud at this point, because I don't even think it's possible of happening anymore because the offensive line is so bad. But I think this is a game where C.J. Stroud definitely can have a successful game in the pass game. Ravens' pass defense this year has not been very good, but this is a game where I do not see a lot of success for Joe Mixon. The Ravens' run defense is really successful, but I think this is a game where maybe Joe Mixon is a little bit quiet, but C.J. Stroud has a good game. And the only reason I think I'm really eyeing a good game for C.J. is just because, you got with the Ravens, you got their, pass defense, which has struggled, and they've been more strong on the run defensive side of things. So I'm eyeing the Texans. If you're going to have success tomorrow on the offensive side of the ball, it's going to be through C.J. Stroud. It's not going to be Joe Mixon. It's nothing against Joe Mixon. He's been great this year, but this is one of the harder run defenses you're facing. You've seen the last couple weeks he's gone against some harder run defenses, and against like the teams like Miami and Kansas City. Those are some harder run defenses. And it's not like he's had bad games. Like, he's had solid games, like 50 rushing yards against Kansas City. But he hasn't had like a great game in these last couple weeks. And here's another team tomorrow where good run defense. So I think tomorrow, if the Texans have success, it will be because of C.J. Stroud. And obviously, look, I don't know what I can say about what the defense needs to do, because there's not a lot you can do when you're facing number 8, Lamar Jackson. He's dangerous. I don't know what you can maintain, how you can maintain him when he also has Derrick Henry and he has all these weapons. It's really hard, and I really hope that the defense can figure that out tomorrow. But that is going to be a very tricky challenge for this defense to figure out. Let me know your thoughts on the Texans. Week 17 matchup against the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas Day. Again, happy holidays to everybody, and go Texans.